What is going on YouTube? Dr. Way here. Can you go with another video? And the reason I want to make this video is because I don't really think people understand how much actually goes into crafting up gear pieces, especially at the higher ends. And I just want to hit you guys with a little bit of math. So it takes, let's go here. So 10 materials, right, crafting takes 3 hours, okay? So that turns out to each material takes about 18 minutes, right? Each, right, for common. And to get these higher materials, you have to combine 4 to get one of these, 4 of those to get one of these, 4 of those to get the next tier, and then 4 of those to get a legendary, right? So that's an exponential type model where, okay, it's you need 4 pieces, so 4 to the 1, and then for the common pieces it's 4 to the 2, so you keep multiplying times 4 to get to the legendary tier. So once you get there, it would take 256 common materials to just make one legendary material. So it takes 76.5 hours. We talking about a little bit more than 3 days, right, to make one legendary material, just one, right, through, you know, a free-ish, right, the most common method to get the materials. Okay, so now if we go here, right, some of the more cheaper legendary pieces of craft still take, 40 materials, and that's about as cheap as you can get them. Some materials are a little bit more. This is about the average with 60 materials, right? So it would take, with that model that I just proposed to you, 192 days to craft just one fucking piece, just one piece of the gear. Of course, that's not everywhere you get it from. Of course, let's say you're like a 100% free to play and you want to spend your gems, right? Like, of course, you can come to the VIP shop, get a few more materials a week. Every time that you do Sunset Canyon, you'll get one green material, right? You have the keys that you can open up as well in the tavern, right? So and then I think you get some from the daily. Yep, you get a little bit of material here, and then you get a little bit of material there. Maybe I can combine those into the equation. So maybe after all that, right, that basic stuff that you're kind of guaranteed, maybe it goes down to something more like 170 days, 150 days, or some shit like that. I would really have to think about the math behind that, right? Maybe it goes down quite a bit. And then I'm not also considering, the different events that might give you, that will give you, the key and whatever. There's a lot of things that I'm not factoring into that. But the case in point still fucking being, right, is that it takes an extremely long time no matter what you're doing, right? Even if you were to gym it, I think it still takes a long time. And here's the sticking point to all of it, right? Let me find you a really good example. I'll find you an excellent example. Okay, so here's a good example. I'm getting 6% infantry stats from this Blessed Blade, right? It only takes 80, common, 80 green materials, right? This right here takes 90 blue materials, way more, right? And this one here, 6%, I'll be able to special talent this like pretty much about the time before I can get this, right? And it'll end up being 8% of stats anyway, and it'll only cost the same materials, a little bit more gold, and have to wait for the pattern, special talent, but it'll give me the same stats, right? And it's something that would take me way more gold. It turns out it'd probably be at about the same amount of gold. It's about a 20 to 25% chance to get the special talent, and it's like the same fucking thing, like 100%. And that's how all of the tiers kind of work, is that you spend exponentially more materials for a very incremental gain. And if you were to special talent the previous tier, that would give you comparable stats, then if you special talent it, it will be just as good as the next tier of things that you can get. So with that being said, what does that mean, right? Gear is important. But I think that it's a balance that you have to do between how much you're putting in for what you're getting out. It's about efficiency, right? So in the early game, this is about as efficient as you can get it. Of course, I could craft the boots. Maybe I'll do that in this video. I'll craft the boots. I think these are the best boots that I could probably craft for infantry at this particular point. Let's see here. I really like the windswept set for infantry specifically because of how much march speed you can actually get. You can get quite a bit of march speed. Not as many stats, but quite a bit of march speed. I'm a fan of the windswept. This would be a little bit better if I had the pattern. So yeah, I think this is the best I can do. Let me show you. So I got 4 of these patterns, right? Okay, I'm a forge. Let's see, do I get the special talent? No, I don't. But right, that's okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna craft it again. You'll see where I'm going with this. Let's see. I got the special talent on the second try. Like, it doesn't take that long, right? It's infantry, I get another percent of stat. Right? So now I can start wearing that. Okay, I'm here. Start wearing that special talent. So I just gained 3% more stats. That ain't bad. To give you, a comparison, right? I'll probably spent in more, resources, right? Way more resources just trying to get these 3%, right? Or it was attack, this 3% of stats. Like, I probably spent way more resources, just doing this, right? So I mean, like, yeah, especially in the early game, like, gear should be on your character. It's not, it's relatively cheap, right? And then, like, how much stats am I getting total? I'm getting 13% infantry attack, 8.5% defense, and 8% health. That's like almost 30% of stats. Like, that's like a max it's like a max skill, right? This gives me 30% of stats. Granted, these are better, like health and defense is better than the stats, but still, like, I'm getting, a whole nother skill worth of stats. And this is just the common in green fucking gear, right? And if I were to go to the blues, I really wouldn't be getting that much more stats. I just wouldn't, right? So, like, my options, right? Okay, my next best option is Gatekeepers. I would have to special talent it to even make it better, right? For the weapon, the helmet, right? I'm getting 4% of stats, with the special talent. Like, okay, well, what would be my next step? Okay, the windswept would give me 4.5, and I do like the extra march speed. Okay, look how much more. You don't understand how much more. That's like, 4 times, right? No, it's more than 4 times. It's, for purple to common, 64 times more the material, right? So it's what is this? 50 material for that, 80 material for this. You know, it's like about somewhere around 56 times more material, and we're only talking about 4% more of stats, but about 56 times the amount of material. Fuck no, right? Like, okay, if you get to the point where there's like literally nothing else you can do, fine. Maybe that's maybe that's worth it to you, but you know, it's something to strive for in the incremental improvements. But I know people that's already talking about crafting purple gear. They talking about crafting uh what the fuck is it? The you know legendary gear. And I'm just sitting here like, the fuck are you doing? Like, because I don't know. It's just funny to me, man. It's just funny to me because you're gonna craft that one piece of gear, probably not get the special talent. Maybe you get, this is my own alliance, but fingers crossed you get that fucking special talent when you do it, and then I'm like, oh, I'll be happy for you, right? You have every right to do whatever the fuck you want to do with your account. If you want to craft that gear, craft your gear. But when we talk about efficiency, I think I'll probably stay with these and then I'll upgrade to the purples later. Unless it's the windswept set, which gives me the march speed. Like, I might do the windset boots and the windset gloves. Well, windswept. I might actually do the helmet and the gloves, and that'll give me stat bonus, 2% more stats, and then I'll also get the 6% march speed. I think that's pretty valuable, especially since infantry don't have a lot of march speed right now until Alexander comes out, or our expertise Martell, which ain't gonna be no time soon. I'm betting on Alexander the Great to come out before that point, right? So that's how I would do the gear. Like, don't get too focused on the better gear. And then here's the best part, like, about making the special talents, especially for that lower tier. Like, okay, I lost a pattern and a gold, right? But I made an extra piece. I don't need that extra piece that I crafted up, so I can actually dismantle, right, this piece and get all those materials back. And it's like that all the way up to the epic tier. Once you get the legendary, I think you get a percentage back. But I just dismantle this, right? So I'm not actually spending, more than one. Now, let's say maybe you want more than one set because you want to bring out multiple marches. But I'm going to make the argument right now. We're in the early game. I can barely make a full infantry. I don't even have 165k infantry right now, which is the largest infantry. I only have 152, right? I can barely make a full march of infantry or cavalry. So my argumentation is, especially for the early game, right? You only really need like one of these, right? And then you can just swap. And they made it easier to do that. So let's see. So, like, let's say, I got that already set up. I just switched the infantry field. And then, like, let's say I wanted that same type of thing on my Richard, which I do. We add that. I can just swap, right? And then let's say I want to go back to other guy, right? Because I'm only bringing no more than one infantry, one cav march on the field at any given time. I don't, play within your means. If that's what you got, then that's what you got. Don't try to make stuff work when you're not ready for it. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do. They're trying to make stuff work and they're not ready for it. Like, we're not this kingdom is only so many days old. We're not ready for it, right? That type. We haven't had enough time to get the materials, from the events and to make it ourselves. So I think this right here, something like this, is one of the best builds you could do for the early game. Like, it truly is about 30% of stats, right? And it is total. All of this total probably cost me less than about 5 million gold or less. 100% costs me less than 5 million gold or less, right? It only takes, you know, 2 or 3 times to, when you craft the gear, you know, statistically speaking, you'll usually get it by that 4th time, and a lot of times I get it on the 1st or 2nd try like that, right? These literally cost nothing. These are free stats, pretty much, 4%. This is how I would do it. I don't want to long-wind it, but it's just a little rant, what I think. This is my honest opinion about the gear. Like, just do this. It's fine. Like, 30% of stats is respectable. Alright, see you in the next video. You a master governor, I'm a master governor, everybody's a master governor.